I was looking at the mirror.
Do I look like her mother? Just Vaseline everywhere. Foot like coming towards my face.
And then stabbed me with them. Your girl had enough.
Best friends.
The most out of pocket thing you could say to any twin. Okay.
Hi, my name's Crystal,
I'm Pearl.
and this is our YouTube channel
And we're gonna be talking
about
our relationship in
as
twins.
twins. Yeah. That's the goal for today. I guess this is obviously our first video, so we're just gonna yap about us basically and a little get to know us. Also, I hope the audio sounds okay.
Okay, right. Okay. So
Obviously, okay, we are twins, but we're not identical, as you can tell.
mm-hmm.
We look quite different. Sometimes I get passed off as your mum.
a lot of the recently, more recent, I think as we're getting older, I've been looking, I still like,
You still got low-key a baby face.
without makeup, I have very much a baby face. We're twins, like,
Look, our
look at
birthday
us,
are the
look at us,
same.
literally.
Yeah, but even when Pearl goes to hospital appointments, they're like, your mum?
No.
No.
Ben.
Do I look like her mother? No. Obviously, when we were toddlers, we were BFFs. We would sit down and eat a tub of Vaseline together.
And
Yeah.
rub Vaseline.
Just Vaseline everywhere.
What are you doing?
Everywhere.
And when we had ice cream as well, we'd do the same thing.
And we were just best. I will put up some pictures on the screen of us being cute toddlers. And then we started reaching close to puberty.
Like throughout the years, we ended up not liking each other, especially when we hit puberty.
We were ops. We would walk
home to school at different times of the
We
day.
had like separate friendship groups.
Separate friendship groups. Like we were in different classes, especially in primary school, because we were separated completely in primary school. Like, we didn't have any classes together in primary school. Like,
only time we would speak would to just be like to like annoy each other or like argue about something stupid,
and that would turn physical. And then we just wouldn't speak to each other.
There was one time where we got in like a really heated argument over something stupid. Like it was something like so insignificant. And then
we've caused a lot of bodily harm to each other.
We have. Somehow
you more than me.
It got to the point where like all I saw was your foot like coming towards my face, and like bonk, I like hit my head. Like,
I was a flexible kid, not so much now. I used to do like gymnastics back then, like doing like
on the field, doing backflips,
doing splits and whatever. Crystal used to be quite the aggressive child.
No, it was not.
Crystal used to sharpen pencils.
Oh my gosh!
And then stab me with them, and then the lead used to get stuck in like, especially in the shoulder. She used to stab me with them in the shoulder.
This is our first video, and I'm already gonna get cancelled for domestic violence, bro.
Wait, used to. And then my mom had to use her like needles to poke out, get the lead out.
Keep in mind, I was 5. Okay, I was like 5 or 6, and back then we would just constantly annoy each other. So I was like,
what do you call it? It's a weapon.
A spear.
It would like.
Pick up your mic, bro.
As I was saying. Anyways,
it was always a joke. Okay, guys, please. It was a joke.
It was a joke. And then obviously, your girl had enough, and I decided to kick her in the head or in the face.
But then I locked her in the car boot.
Oh, I almost found a way out. Out of the boot.
Out of the boot, not the car.
Not that. I wasn't that smart.
I like tricked her into getting into the boot.
To be fair, I was a gullible kid. When we got to secondary school,
we became really
close because it was just me and Crystal who went to a different secondary school from all of our friends from primary school. They all went to a different school.
So I feel like we just relied on each other because like
we went from
being like top of the chain at primary school, like year 6, top of the top, to like year 7, and like in the school there's like not 18, 19-year-olds, and we're like, oh my gosh, what is this?
I didn't realize how shy of a kid I actually was until I went to secondary school.
We got really close. Transitioning into like year 8, year 9, we started to get more close. And then also because of like other stuff that was happening outside of school, like home life, we had a lot of stress and a lot of stuff going on. So I feel like we just ended up relying on each other a lot more.
Because we could relate with each other.
Yeah,
I mean, we were sisters. We could relate with each other because we were going through the same thing.
Exactly. That's the best. I think that's the best part of having not just like a sibling, but like a twin.
And the fact that our secondary school was so far, it was like
an hour and a half journey just to get to school like walking in the bus.
And we had like no choice but to
talk to each other
and but to like spend our time with each other.
Yeah,
because of the traveling was one of them. We got so close in year 8 and year 9 as well because our new friend, one of our friends, best friends still now.
Yeah.
It was always just the 3 of us.
And I'm sorry, the people that say trios don't work,
they do.
You're
work.
with the wrong people, okay?
They're still working. We've been friends for like
it's been almost 7 years. Wow, time flies by.
Yeah, it's been 7 years. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of
being a twin.
Not even being a twin, just our relationship. Because
yeah.
everyone else has their own pros and cons.
It's
different for
completely
everyone.
different for everyone. But we like jotted down 3 pros and 3 cons that we found like in our relationship.
I feel like all of these tie in with each other. So we'll start with loyalty, and then we'll kind of like tie in with each other.
We literally have shared the room, like grown up together, like you know, being
I'm always
so much
and
together.
if she says something, I know when she's lying. I feel like we both know when each other's lying.
Yeah.
And second of all, and if it's something so serious, we wouldn't lie to each other. I feel like when it comes to loyalty and honesty, like I know that I can trust you.
Yeah.
And like I know that I'll always be loyal to her if anything was to happen.
Yeah.
Like we've heard stories of siblings who don't talk to each other for years.
It's impossible not to be loyal to each other.
Like we know each other's boundaries when it comes to like, let's say a certain word the other person doesn't like, or like calling each other's names. Like obviously we're gonna have arguments, we're gonna call each other names,
and that's one con.
And that's one con. Like although we are young adults, we still have time to grow, and we're gonna always have childish.
And that's because we're with each other 24/7. I feel like that's one of the cons that I wrote down. Is literally I just wrote down the word 24/7. Yeah, because we're with each other 24/7. It's kind of impossible not to get annoyed at each other at least like once or twice. Like whether that's a day or a week. Like there will be times where we're like just like we need space, and like sometimes if we're not given that space, or sometimes if one of us says the wrong thing that like annoys each other, we will snap. We will. But
even if it's so small, that small argument, it will turn like that small thing will become such a big argument. A small thing will become such a big argument because we don't have the space away from each other.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we need that space away from each other.
But I feel like one thing that we've gotten good at though is before we would just completely shut each other out and not speak to each other for weeks. But now
we talk to each other 2 minutes after.
Like
we laugh about it.
I'm the kind of person that likes to talk it out straight away. But she's the kind of person that needs space before she like has that conversation. But I feel like we kind of found a middle ground.
It depends on how bad of the
what we're disagreeing about.
If it's such a small thing, we tend to just like blow over, just say we're gonna drop it. Like we literally just say before we even talk about it, because sometimes Crystal, even if it's really small, she wants to talk about it. Let's drop it. Let's just say sorry and drop it, which I think is also a pro that we're now starting to learn. Like we're now focusing on. Like when it comes to like arguments, we really are like finding a middle ground and stuff like that.
Yeah. Relatability. We can relate to each other on literally everything. Like, I don't think there's one topic in life that like we can't relate with each other with. Like music taste, fashion taste, like I guess like aspirations that we have, like
we share those similarities.
Tasting, okay, maybe not tasting foods, but I guess there are like foods that like close to us. Like ramen and sushi. Don't get me started. Like, you know, when like you're in a situation like, oh, I wish there was someone I could talk to that would like, you know, relate and understand what I'm going through. We have that 24/7. Like we have that all the time.
We also wrote down another quote of like being besties for life.
Besties for life. For life. There is nothing that will ever stop us from
not talking to each other.
Or like, again, number one, we're twins, obviously.
Always
that's my best friend. That's my best friend.
Like even when we go our separate ways, move in, like have our own families, there ain't no way like we're gonna go a day without talking to each other. Even if it's one text. Even if it's one text.
Like even there have been times in the past year where we've been apart, we would FaceTime and text every day. Like, every single day. Because
we share the same. Also, we share the same friends.
Yeah.
So we share the same friends. Literally, when I say share the same friendship group, we share the same friendship group, and we share the same like our other best friends, and we share literally practically everything. Clothes, room, everything. So I mean, kind of hard not to be best friends.
It is. I think we're comfortable just being weird around each other. We're just comfortable like just saying anything and just laughing at each other, which I love so much. Best friends. And then we've got like two cons that I feel like you could relate with any kind of like sibling relationship.
I think we're gonna put them together.
But yeah, we're gonna tie them together. Is comparison
and competition.
Was more so when we were younger, you know, like friendly competition and stuff. And I feel like me and Paul, we would take it literally like to death.
It was also when we started to get closer, trying to get closer, but people were comparing us. We've had some weird things being said to us.
There was this guy, I had gotten my braids done, where all of us are walking to class.
Yeah,
he was a friend. He didn't mean it he didn't mean it in like a rude way. What he said was just completely out of pocket, but I don't think he meant it in a rude way. He turns around to me and he's like, oh my gosh, Crystal, I love your hair. It looks good. I'm like, thank you very, very much. And then he looks at Pearl for a second, but Pearl's like walking ahead, so she can't really hear us. Looks at Pearl and then looks at my face and my hair or whatever. And then he's like half talking to himself, like half talking to me, like, damn, like I wish I could take your head and put it on Pearl's body. I said, what? Excuse me? Excuse me? That's probably the most out of pocket comment that I've ever heard, like, said to us.
It's the most out of pocket thing you could say to any twin. I feel like.
What do you mean you want to take my head and put it on your body? Like, go, like,
we're two separate people.
Yeah.
First of all, there was other things said, but we're not gonna go to.
We're not gonna get into that.
We're not gonna get into that.
We would be here
but
forever.
I think now, I feel like now we're best friends. We literally have separation anxiety.
We a lot of rely on each other. We don't rely on each other for happiness. Obviously, you have to rely on yourself and God for happiness. But we rely on each other in the sense of like support and that loyalty that we have. Just always be there for each other, which I love. Which is also one of the reasons why we wanted to do this YouTube channel. Having fun, and sharing that, and also documenting that, not just for other people but for ourselves. I guess this video was just an introduction about us just yapping about our relationship, the pros and cons of our relationship being twins, the way that we've evolved, and a little introduction to our YouTube channels. Bye.
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 Bye.